Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kocsis Sports YouTube channel. My name is Christian Kocsis. I'm your host. This is going to be our week 2 preview and pick'em video, like we did last week for week 1. So, as always, if you're looking to get into content creation, if you're looking to stream, make your own videos, head on over to our description. Streamlabs Ultra is a super easy and cheap way to start getting into video creation, content creation, streaming, whatever. Super easy to use, super easy to navigate, pretty cheap. So go ahead and check out the description, sign up for your membership if you're interested. Let's get right into it. So we are now 11-6 on the season. For our picks, we had the Eagles win by 6 points, 34-28 on Thursday night. Our prediction was 27-20, and there's just a little bit more offense in this game than I expected. One more score for each team. I thought that the Eagles would come out, play a little bit better defense than they did, but I mean, this secondary doesn't seem like the elite secondary that it was. The pass rush, the front seven are very good, but secondary may cause some problems. This is now Mac Jones and Kirk Cousins were able to pick them apart 2 weeks in a row. So, but that's what we picked the Eagles to win. So we got them. First game we're going to talk about real quick: the Packers at the Falcons. The Falcons are a 1.5 point favorite in this one. So this game is very hard for me. The Packers had a blowout win week 1 against the Bears. So an asterisk next to that blowout win. The Bears are not a good team this year. Horrible defense, bad offense. And Jordan Love played very good. But Christian Watson still, they're going to be without him again this week. They're also probably going to be without Aaron Jones. We'll see about that. This one is extremely hard. I think that the Packers have a solid run defense. I think that they have a solid defense that they're going to be able to, keep the Falcons' run game maybe in check a little bit. They're going to force Desmond Ridder to actually throw the ball into tight windows and to try to actually, make plays. They look like they were kind of trying to hide their quarterback last week, the Falcons, and in every start he's had in his career. I'm going to pick the Packers in this one, even without Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. I think that they can get the win with their defense. Jordan Love looked very good last week, mainly without Christian Watson. So I think he did good. A.J. Dillon stepping in as the lead back. It's not horrible. He's a very capable back in his own right. So I think the Packers can get this one and pull it out. I like the money line in this one, but plus 1.5. That's very good as well. Next up, we have the Raiders at the Bills. The Bills are 8-point favorites in this one. I think that the Bills are going to come out very angry, losing that week 1 game in prime time to the Aaron Rodgers-less, Zach Wilson-led Jets. I think that the Bills are going to be very upset. I think Josh Allen's going to come out. He's not going to turn the ball over 3 times like he did last week. And I think that he is going to have a decent game here. And I think that the Bills are going to win handedly. I don't think that it's going to be necessarily close. At home, I think that they are going to win. I think the 8 points, I think they cover that. So give me the Bills in that one. Ravens at Bengals. Bengals are 3-point favorites. Another game that features an elite AFC team that really, did not do well week 1. Scored 3 points. I mean, yes, the weather was bad. Browns defense, was really good, but scored 3 points. They're going to be very upset, very angry against this Ravens team that is dealing with some injuries. They played the Texans last week and kind of struggled through the air. I don't think they're going to, Lamar Jackson, that's probably one of his worst passing games all season. But, I think the Bengals defense and offense are really going to step it up a bit this game. I think the offense especially. I think that the Bengals definitely cover that 3-point spread, and I think that they win this one. Next up, we have Seahawks at Lions in Detroit. Detroit is 4.5-point favorites. I think that the Seahawks are interesting, given that coming into the season, I thought that they had a really good secondary. Turns out that's not the case. Seahawks offensive line is horrid. not giving Geno Smith any time at all to throw the ball. So I think that the Seahawks are a very underwhelming team as far as expectations I had for them coming into the season. I had them as a wild card team, and I think that the Lions showed, yes, they beat Kansas City with 5 drops, one of them leading to a free pick 6, and no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce, and they won by 1 point. They still won. They still beat the Chiefs in Kansas City opener. I think that Goff at home, he's my quarterback start of the week for fantasy. I think that Goff at home this week is going to have a good game. I think that everybody's going to get involved. I think Laporta is going to, do good. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to do good. I think both of the running backs, are heavily involved in this one, Montgomery and Gibbs. I think the Lions win this one. Give me the Lions and probably give me the 4.5 points as well for them to cover. Chargers at Titans. Both teams are 0-1. The Chargers lost last week to the Dolphins, who, put up an amazing offensive performance. Tua looked absolutely, spot on. Tyreek Hill was electric as always. The Titans looked horrible and sluggish and lost by 1 point to the Saints. The Chargers are 2.5 point favorites here. This game is in Tennessee. This is a very interesting game. The Chargers are without Austin Eckler. I am going to pick the Titans in this one to win the game outright. So obviously, plus 2.5 is good as well. But I think the Titans are going to come out. Their defense is going to play good. I think that they're going to try to control the game flow more with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was oddly only out there on 40-something% of snaps last week. I think they're really going to try to feed him and ride him, take the ball out of Tannehill's hands. Also, Tannehill's not going to turn the ball over 3 times like he did last week. I mean, he's going to be at least a little bit better than that. I think that their defense in the running game is enough to get this one done at home for the Titans. So give me the Titans here. Next game, Bears at Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 2.5 point favorites. I think that they beat the Bears by more than 2.5 points. I think that they definitely win this game. The Bears are, one of the worst teams in the NFL. Everybody was super high on them coming into the season. I was not. I was extremely low. I'm still extremely low on Justin Fields. I think that he did not show well in the first week, and he will continue to not show well. The Bucs defense held the Vikings offense relatively in check to 17 points week 1, who just went out and put up 28 points against the Eagles. So I think that the Bucs put up a decent amount of points here against the Bears. I think that, the Bears offense maybe clicks a little bit more than it did last week, but I think this is a game that's probably going to hit the over. It's 40.5 points for the over-under. I think the Bucs win this one. I think both receivers get involved in Godwin and Evans. So give me the Buccaneers. The Chiefs at the Jaguars. This is by far, so I'm a Chiefs fan who lives in Jacksonville. So this is by far my most exciting matchup of the week. Not just because I'm a fan and I live in Jacksonville, but these are two teams that I'm extremely high on, obviously. The Jags, I think, can contest for the number 1 seed in the AFC, period, over the totality of the season. The Chiefs obviously can contest for the number 1 seed. They've shown that they're getting, their defense played very capable last week, holding a top 5 offense with one of the best offensive lines in the league to 14 points on offense. They got a pick 6, so they scored 21 points, but they held them to 14 points without Chris Jones. So yes, the Jags scored 31 points last week, but the Colts defense really isn't great at all. So I'm looking to see, specifically matchup-wise in this game, how the Chiefs defense, who is not great by any means, but is capable, definitely capable. I think that between these two teams, the Chiefs probably have the better defense with Chris Jones in and the better secondary. And I think that with Chris Jones in, it's going to really test this kind of beaten up and shaky at best Jaguars offensive line. So really look for Lawrence to be getting the ball out quick. A lot of throws, just dump the ball off, dump the ball off. And I think if he holds it too long, if they try to run too much, that Chris Jones and that defensive line and the linebackers are really going to, make it a hard day for them. The Jaguars, I'm very high on. Tons of weapons on offense. Some good solid pieces on defense. I'm going to pick Kansas City in this one. They're with Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Mahomes and the Chiefs are not going to have another 5 drops this week. Mahomes' completion percentage was like a 53% last week, but without those 5 drops, it would have been a 67%. Not to mention the drives that would have been sustained. So he probably throws another touchdown, maybe 2 in that game. Throws for a bunch more yards. So it's really kind of hard to judge performances. Also, Lawrence had a very mediocre quarterback, rating and QBR and passer rating, but I thought he played extremely well last week. I thought that when he threw the ball, he was efficient. He put it into some really tight windows on a couple plays, specifically, to the right side of the field, about 20 yards downfield to Calvin Ridley on the run, and then that touchdown pass to Zay Jones. I think he fit the ball into some perfect windows. I think he's got a bright future, but this week, I think the Chiefs are angry. I think they're going to come into Jacksonville. I think they're going to win the game. They're 3-point favorites. They probably win by more than 3 points. The over-under is 51. That probably goes over as long as the rain doesn't get too crazy. So give me the Chiefs there. The Colts at the Texans. Both teams are 0-1. Both teams are not good. Houston is a -1 point favorite. I will be taking the Colts in this one. I think that the Colts are better. I think Anthony Richardson last week, I didn't expect him to do anything this season for the first month or so, but he really came out, and I think that he made some good throws in the first half. He showed, some elite talent in the running game. Obviously got in the end zone. That's what people were looking for to see if, how much he was going to be utilized there. He looks like Cam Newton. He's huge. But I think that he did great in the running game. I think that he had some really good passes. Obviously, yes, had some very questionable passes as well. Pressed the ball in the second half, tried to, as they kind of lost momentum and the game wasn't as close with the Jags anymore, was trying to press it, throw it downfield, threw an ugly pick. And, that's just rookie learning pains. I think that he played, his ups were up. His highs were high and his lows were lows in this one. And I think that his highs were at a higher rate than I expected. So I look for him to continue to develop. The Texans defense is perfect second week for him. Not a very good defense at all. I think that he's going to be able to have a decent week. I think the Colts come in here in Houston and get a win. So 49ers at Rams. Yes, the Rams showed pretty good last week, beat the Seahawks. But the 49ers showed dominant and beat the Steelers, who I was and still am pretty high on. The 49ers are 7-point favorites. They probably win this game by 7 points or more. Although I could see it being a little closer than people expect. But I definitely see the 49ers winning this game. They own Sean McVay and the Rams anyways, even if they weren't this dominant. But Brandon Ayuk is also one of my starts of the week at receiver. I think that he is going to continue to dominate. I think that he and this 49ers offense are going to have a good game. I think that there might be a little bit more offense in this game than people expect, though. Especially if Puka Nacua is able to go and he's full go. I think that both teams are going to show a little bit more offense than what people expect. But I have the 49ers winning this game. Giants at the Cardinals. Giants looked horrible last week, blown out 40-0. And Cardinals looked kind of competent against the Commanders. Granted, Commanders, yes, without Chase Young, yes. Sam Howell didn't play great. But Cardinals didn't look horrible. Defense was flying around. Giants are 4-point favorites. This one is a tough pick for me. I think that the Giants probably bounce back in this one and win this game. If they don't, then sound the alarm. I'm not high on the Giants at all. I think that the Giants are, them and the Commanders, there's not much of a gap between them. I think last year was an outlier year for the Giants. They're not making the playoffs again. I think Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. But I think that they come in to Arizona. I think that they have a bounce back week. I think they get the win. Cardinals probably keep it close, though. Cardinals probably keep it close. But Giants get the win. Jets, Cowboys. Cowboys 100% win this game. They're 8.5-point favorites. The line was 9.5 points earlier, which that's a lot of points to give up, on a line. it's kind of scary to touch, but I think that this game is going to be a lot more defensive heavy than people expect. Obviously, yes, people expect the Cowboys defense to be great and the Jets defense is great, but I can see this game, being like a 20-13 game or something like that. As far as the Cowboys winning, something semi close, but just enough defense and just barely enough competence from the Jets offense to score at least a touchdown and a couple field goals. I think that they keep it a little closer than people expect. So, but I had the Cowboys winning, in Dallas after that showing last week. But I think it's going to be a bit closer than what people expect. Commanders at Broncos. The Broncos are, they looked horrible on offense last week. Surprise, Russell Wilson, did not cook. And they are getting Jerry Jeudy back this week. He's probably most certainly on a pitch count. Javonte Williams probably going to be incorporated more into the, into the run game and out of the backfield as a pass catcher as the season goes on. I don't expect really this early on in the season. Denver's 3.5-point favorites. They really need to get back on track this week. And they really need to do something offensively. But the Commanders are a decent team, I think. I think Sam Howell's competent enough to get this one done. I think Chase Young's coming back this week. I liked what I saw out of Brian Robinson. And this offense is, this offense is not a terrible offense. I think that the Commanders can go into Mile High and get the job done. I think this is going to be a pretty low scoring game probably. Maybe like a 20-17 win or like a 20-14 win or something like that. That's super low scoring. But I think that the Commanders can get this one done. Dolphins at Patriots. Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites. I love this. Dolphins win. Dolphins win by more than 2.5. Dolphins are pretty good this year. And I think that the Dolphins, as long as Tua can stay healthy, I think that they have a legitimate chance to win this division. I think that they're a great team, great offense, decent enough defense to get them by until their secondary can get healthy and Ramsey can come back. I think that Tua and this passing attack can keep it rolling. I think that they can get the run game going a little bit more than they did last week, get it going this week. And I think that Mostert and Hill are going to have pretty good games. I think that the Dolphins win this one. Patriots fall to 0-2, and the Dolphins move to 2-0. Monday night games. Yes, games, because the NFL is liking to schedule games right on top of each other. So we have a 7:15 and an 8:15 game on Monday night, which doesn't make much sense. So I don't know why they wouldn't do just like a 6 and a 9 or something. Space it out a little bit more so people can watch both. But whatever. So first game, we have the Saints at the Panthers. Saints are only 3-point favorites. I love this one. Saints are going to beat them by a lot more than 3 points, I think. And it's not really going to be a close game. The Panthers are not a good team. The Panthers got completely beat up by the Falcons last week. And the Saints, well, they only won by 1 to the Titans. I think the Titans have a pretty good defense. Saints came out, new quarterback, obviously, in Derek Carr, who had a decent week. But, it takes some time to kind of adjust. I think they're going to come out. I think this is going to be a really good game for the Saints. So Saints by a lot more than 3 points. Browns at the Steelers. Browns showed really good last week. Steelers showed really bad. Browns are 2.5-point favorites. This is in Pittsburgh. I am going to take the Browns in this one. Deontay Johnson is injured for several weeks for the Steelers. I think the Steelers make it a close game. I think the Browns probably cover that 2.5 points, though. I think that this game isn't terribly high scoring, maybe like a 23-20 or 17 or something of the like, super close. Maybe a touchdown win for the Browns. But I think the Steelers bounce back on offense a bit. I think that they bounce, they play a little better. I think Kenny Pickett plays a little better. But I just think the Browns are too much. Amari Cooper probably won't play in this one. which doesn't necessarily change it too much for me. I think that Nick Chubb is still going to get rolling. I think that some of the other pieces on offense, like Njoku and Elijah Moore, are still going to get going. I still like this run game for the Browns. And the defense, I think that they're still going to be able to get it done. So give me the Browns. And that is it for week 2. We will be having a recap video this week. We'll be going live Sunday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for last minute, injury updates and fantasy questions, start sits, stuff like that. So as always, in the description, social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, I'm always on there. Discord servers in the description for up-to-date information and fantasy rankings. And as always, too, if you're looking to get into content creation, head down to the link in the description, sign up for Streamlabs Ultra. But my name is Christian Kocsis with Kocsis Sports. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.